Nationally speaking, the housing market seems to be on fire at the moment, doesn't it? With the massive migration from major metropolitans to the suburbs and rural areas, with a minimal supply of houses for sale, and low interest rates, the lowest ever, fueling the whole thing. Well, despite the current boom that we're all witnessing, the highly anticipated housing crash of 2020 has begun, at least in these 15 cities. And I'll walk you through each one of them, and I'll give you the stats as well, starting with city number 15. We'll work our way all the way down to number 1. But before we begin, click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell because I post cool stuff like this each and every week, and you don't want to miss it. Let's go. Hi, my name is Matt Theriault. I am CEO of Epic Real Estate, and this is where we show people how to invest in real estate with an emphasis on retiring early. Now, I always think real estate is a good investment, regardless of market conditions. Housing, it provides a basic need for human survival, shelter. And I don't see that going out of fashion anytime soon. With that said, the success of your real estate investing will depend greatly on your investment strategy. For example, if a significant portion of your strategy depends on appreciation, then you may want to steer clear of these 15 cities. Because it's in these 15 cities, the housing market crash appears to have already begun. Now, no one has a crystal ball. But per the downward trend in prices, the large number of mortgages underwater, that's where the owner owes more on the property than what it's worth. And the higher than expected number of people behind on their mortgage payments, this is as close as we're going to get to seeing the future. Now, the market appears to be pretty strong, as I mentioned, with house values nationally moving upward. And according to Zillow, a national appreciation of 7% is expected for 2021. But homes in these cities aren't expected to fare as well. Many are already going in the opposite direction. Now, if you're ready for me to stop dilly-dallying and just get to the list, let's go! Do me a quick favor. Lift that index finger and with all your might, smash the like button for me. Okay, so per Zillow's typical house value and forecast, along with data on foreclosures and price changes over the past 2 years from GoBankingRates.com, the countdown begins. City number 15, Irvine, California. Ironically, this is the city where I grew up in. And Irvine's median list price is approaching the $1 million mark. But a larger than normal number of residents are facing foreclosure. Here are the stats. The typical home value is $910,000. The price change over the past 2 years is a negative 0.26%, with the foreclosure ratio 1 in 6,172 homes. City number 14, Baltimore, Maryland, birthplace of our national anthem. Yet, unlike Irvine, Baltimore real estate is relatively affordable, with the typical house being less than $200,000. But nearly 1 in every 3,000 homes is facing foreclosure. Baltimore stats. Typical home value is $156,000. Price change over the past 2 years has actually appreciated 3.51%, with the foreclosure ratio 1 in just 2,816 homes. Number 13, New Orleans, Louisiana, nicknamed the Big Easy and known for its round-the-clock nightlife and Mardi Gras. House values here are on their way down already, and foreclosures are relatively high. For New Orleans, the typical home value is $240,000. The price change over the past 2 years is a negative 0.22%, and the New Orleans foreclosure ratio is 1 in 3,379 homes. City number 12, Peoria, Illinois, located in the center of the state, has affordable homes, but the values have been falling over the past 2 years. The numbers for Peoria's market: the typical home value is $89,000. Price change over the past 2 years is negative 0.19%, with a foreclosure ratio of 1 in 4,159 homes. Number 11, Edison, New Jersey. Formerly one of America's best places to live per Money Magazine in 2016. But the residents here now are seeing their home values drop at a very steady clip. The typical home value in Edison is $402,000. The price change over the past 2 years is a negative 0.62%, with the foreclosure ratio 1 in 8,168 homes. City number 10, Albany, Georgia, birthplace of legendary musician Ray Charles. Now, this small town in southern Georgia is actually witnessing their house values increase. But many families are facing foreclosure, and houses here aren't expected to keep up with the projected national average. So the stats for Albany: Your typical home value is $86,000. Price change over the past 2 years is 1.74%, with the foreclosure ratio 1 in 4,323 homes. Number 9, Stamford, Connecticut. This waterfront community just across from Long Island has expensive homes, but over the past 2 years, values have fallen by over 1%. The typical home value, $486,000, almost $487,000. Price change over the past 2 years is a negative 1.18%, with the foreclosure ratio 1 in 5,286 homes. Number 8, Lake Charles, Louisiana. The city was badly devastated by Hurricane Laura here in 2020, and home values have been falling over the past several years. So for the Lake Charles numbers, the typical home value is $214,000, with the price change over the past 2 years of a negative 1.74%. And the foreclosure ratio is 1 in 4,148 homes. Number 7, Santa Rosa, California, known for its wineries. And this city, north of San Francisco, has dealt with wildfires over the past several decades, and home values have fallen by almost 5%. The typical home value here is $590,000, with the price change over the past 2 years a negative 4.82%, with the foreclosure ratio 1 in 3,893 homes. City number 6, Laredo, Texas. Now this border town has seen home values fall by almost 2% in recent years. In Laredo stats, the typical home value here is $168,000. Price change over the past 2 years is a negative 1.79%, with the foreclosure ratio 1 in 5,296 homes. City number 5, Fremont, California. The typical home in Fremont is worth over $1 million, but home values here have fallen almost 5%. The typical home value is $1.1 million, with the price change over the past 2 years a negative 4.79%, with the foreclosure ratio 1 in 10,811 homes. Number 4, San Mateo, California. This is a city with rich culture and history. The city's foreclosure rate here is far lower than the previous cities, but prices are dropping rapidly. Now the numbers for San Mateo, the typical home value is $1.4 million. The price change over the past 2 years is a negative 6.09%. with the foreclosure ratio 1 in 10,118 homes. Number 3, Redwood City, California. Now this is the oldest city on the San Francisco Peninsula, and it sits right across the bay from Fremont. And its house values are dropping quickly. The typical home value is $1.1 million, with the price change over the past 2 years of a negative 5.2%. And the foreclosure ratio is 1 in 6,529 homes. Number 2, Longview, Texas. Now this is a small town in eastern Texas, and houses in Longview are appreciating much slower than the typical American home, and house values here have plunged about 3% over the past 2 years. The typical home value is $149,000, almost $150,000. Price change over the past 2 years is a negative 2.91%, with the foreclosure ratio being 1 in 5,158 homes. Number 1, Jackson, Mississippi, the state's capital. House values here have been rapidly losing value over the past 2 years and may not recover quickly. The stats for Jackson, the typical home value is $45,000. Price change over the past 2 years is a negative 9.95%, with the foreclosure ratio 1 in 5,004 homes. So, which city surprised you the most? Share with me in the comments below. And who do you know that may also find this useful? I mean, maybe you've got a friend or a relative that lives in one of these cities that you may want to give a heads up to. When their name comes to mind, share it with them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.